Okay, good afternoon and welcome everyone. Today is Monday, October 27th, 2025. This is the pre-bid conference for ITB-25-00275, Head Start, Early Head Start Educational Partners. My name is Dawn Demina and I am the chief buyer for this procurement. For the record, this meeting is being recorded and has been publicly noticed. Today's meeting is being held by means of communications media technology. The purpose of the pre-bid meeting is to allow bidders an opportunity to learn about this solicitation. Provisions have been made for any member of the public desiring to have access to view the meeting. This meeting is not mandatory. Public attendees must remain on mute unless speaking. For the record, this meeting is being recorded and the recording will be available after the meeting has ended. Bidders are cautioned that only a written addendum may change the bid document. Any statements or comments made by the county at this meeting, which might appear to modify the bid document, shall be considered by bidders as only a tentative position of the county. For these statements to be considered as an actual change to the solicitation, they must be published in a written addendum. At this time, I will ask each county staff member to introduce themselves for the record. Dane, if you'd like to start.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dane Telfer. I'm the manager of fiscal services for the Head Start department.
Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Maggie Jones. I'm the contracts manager with the Head Start Early Head Start department. Thank you for your attendance today.
Thank you. Please be advised that the cone of silence is still in effect. Therefore, all questions must be submitted through UNA vendor discussions. I will now turn the meeting over to the department to discuss the project.
Okay, good afternoon. Hey, go ahead, Maggie.
Oh, no, go ahead, Dane.
No, go ahead.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Maggie Jones. I'm the contracts manager with the Head Start department. What I'm going to do is I'll share on my screen the ITB that has been published, just to be used as a guide in terms of what we're going to discuss during this pre-bid meeting today. So this is published as educational partners for the Head Start, Early Head Start department. As Dawn stated, she is the chief buyer. The due date and time will be November 21st, 2025 at 2 p.m. when everything is due. Now, as we scroll down, the first section of this ITB speaks to the specifications and the scope. Just keep in mind that the Hillsborough County Head Start Department is seeking competitively sealed bids from qualified contractors of licensed child care facilities to provide educational service programs and educational development to children enrolled in the Hillsborough County Head Start Early Head Start Department. These are all the publications and terminology that is very relevant to the partnership that we are seeking here today. These are the child care laws and regulations. There are websites here that you can access to get all the pertinent information. The State of Florida Child Care Licensing Office, the Head Start Performance Standards, which is a requirement as part of being one of our educational partners. In addition to the Florida statutes, the Florida Administrative Code, your Hillsborough County Policy and Procedures, the ADA, the USC, the section here, in addition to the Florida statutes, Chapter 435, your Hillsborough County Code of Ordinance Laws in Chapter 28, the Public Law of Head Start Act, and your Head Start, again, performance standards. Please ensure that you are familiar with all of that information when being interested in becoming a partner with the Head Start department. Our minimum requirements indicate that you shall be licensed and registered to conduct business with the state of Florida, Hillsborough County, in accordance with all your child care licensing laws, regulations specified through the Florida Department of Children and Families. Also, keep in mind that your child care facility shall be in good condition, free from need of repairs, free from health and safety hazards, clean and free from vermin infestation. You must have an available classroom space that is not less than 750 square feet that will accommodate a minimum of 20 children per classroom for Head Start and 8 children per classroom for Early Head Start, allowing for 35 square feet of usable indoor play space per child that is exclusive of toilets, closets, kitchens, and hallways. And now I'm going to defer to Dane to elaborate a little bit more on that section. Dane?
Yes, okay, thank you, Maggie. So for everyone's best interest, even though we indicate the minimum requirements, the quality of the facility by way of space, layout, how modern it is, the playground, how modern the playground is, will play a very important part in our selection when we do the site visit. As you all know, this process includes a site visit. So I strongly encourage everyone to look towards exceeding the expectation, not just to meet it, because as I say, one of our goals is to provide facilities that are among the nation's finest. And what that means is adequate space, well-maintained facilities, just top class facilities. So try to exceed. Whatever you do, try to exceed. Back to you, Maggie.
Dave, can you elaborate more about the playground? So we have provide a minimum of 100 square feet of usable outside playground space for each child.
Okay.
So maybe talk a little more about that as well.
Okay, so the playground space, again, the measurements are there, but if you have more space, better. That space that highlights the size that is there can only accommodate 50% of your capacity at any point in time. That's because we try to rotate the playground time. So some people go out in the morning and some goes in the afternoon. So the aim is to have a facility that provides a minimum capacity for 50% of what you're going to be enrolled to provide services for. And as it says, 100 square feet per child. In addition to that, again, the quality of the playground equipment, the age of the playground equipment, the type of surface. Right now, we're moving towards more turf surface. That's not to say if you have mulch surface, it will not be accepted. But our preference is going to be for a more modern playground. Again, it does not disqualify you from applying or anything. We are just going to make our selection as a qualified thing based on, if say the prices are equal and everything, all that's well, the difference maker is going to be the quality of the place that you provide. As we go further down and Maggie speaks a little bit more about zip code locations, we'll talk a little bit more about that also. Go ahead, Maggie.
Thank you. Thank you, Dane. And also for in section 1.3.4.8, you must have a minimum of 2 hand wash sinks per classroom. 1 sink shall be located inside the classroom for the children, and the second sink shall be located inside the bathroom. So bathrooms must be also located inside the classroom and have a child-sized toilet. I'm just bringing these up just as some points to remember when you go to submit your bid, to ensure that you have these things in place, because these are some of the things that are very relevant to what we're looking for. You shall provide a minimum of 150 square feet to accommodate adequate food service preparation area. Because we will have, Dane, do you want to speak about the food service area a little bit? Go into some detail there.
Yeah, as a part of the process for serving our students, we have to provide again, the meal service area has to be passed by the sanitation department. So we want to have things like 3-compartment hand wash sinks. We need to have proper refrigerators that can maintain the temperatures that are compliant with the food safety rules. We need to have adequate serving areas so that we can unpack and repack the meals that we get in bulks, because sometimes we do receive bulk meals from the catering company. They're going to take it and they're going to leave it in the area, we're going to have to handle that. So again, adequate space and facilities beyond the minimum that we specify with appropriate layout to make the entire process very easy and simple and safe is what we're going to be looking for. The details are there. Again, pay close attention to the requirements in terms of the amount of square feet that's required, but don't just try to meet it if you can. And I know sometimes you can make minor rearrangements, minor adjustments by removing a wall or something to make it more appealing. If you can do that, by all means, please do so.
Thank you. You also shall have a minimum of 150 square feet to accommodate office staff and an additional 150 square feet of space to accommodate the reception area. We added this in there just to ensure that we do have adequate space for staff reasons. And then also for parking, which is also real important to have adequate parking to support 2 parking spaces per classroom and 3 additional parking spaces for administrative purposes. And the reason for those parking spaces is to accommodate the teachers, of course, for that location. So remember that the contractor shall employ and shall have education supervisors, curriculum specialists, and/or program directors. And there are minimum requirements for each. For a teacher, for a Head Start classroom teacher, all the minimum requirements are listed there. In addition to a teacher aide and/or assistant, all of the requirements are there. And also for an infant toddler specialist as well. We do have ratios. Dane, if you want to speak to the student-teacher ratios a little bit.
Okay. Well, at a minimum, for the Head Start classroom, which will accommodate 20 kids based on the classroom size, we will need to have 1 teacher and 1 teacher assistant at a minimum. Even though that's the ratio that's published, provision from time to time need to be made for individuals to facilitate a break. So you can make sure you have someone that if the teacher needs to go on a break, someone can fill in. For the early Head Start classrooms, the number in the classrooms are a little less. That's going to be 8 children with 2 teachers, meaning 1 teacher and a teacher assistant. That's because for early Head Start, the requirements and attention is much more stringent than it is for Head Start, though, the older kids. So pretty much that's it as a guide there.
Thank you. And contractors, you will be responsible for, excuse me, criminal background screens, physicals, and or other requirements below for all staff are met. So you will be required to ensure that the staff that you hire meet the standards for this. So all the costs for the background screening are the responsibility of the contractor. Staff shall also assign affidavit of good moral character, and proof shall be included in the personnel file. So just be sure you are in compliance with these as well. In addition to ensure that the physical examinations and the TB tests are repeated every 2 years. And the cost of all required physical examination and TB tests shall not be compensable by the county and shall be the responsibility of the contractors as well. The requirements to be provided by contractors. You're going to implement a comprehensive development educational services program utilizing the curriculum and assessment tools specified and provided by the county through the use of classroom and group socialization activities in accordance with these Head Start performance standards. We had also attached, as part of the solicitation, a classroom materials list. So you just want to be mindful of that attachment as well, which is also mentioned within this ITB. All of the educational services, you shall operate a full day, full year program following the approved Head Start calendar for the current program year. Now, the school calendar is also attached as part of the solicitation for reference as well. So you're well aware of what all of the days that you're required to be in operation. In addition to, what is listed here. So you'll operate 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, operate the same number of days of services as the Hillsborough County School District. Ensure that any deviation from the county program calendar must be requested in writing by the contractor and include an alternative month prior to the date requested. So these are some additional requirements as well to be in compliance with the school calendar and operation. You'll ensure that children are enrolled in Head Start, Early Head Start program are the only children present in the Head Start or Early Head Start classroom during operation. You'll ensure that classroom staff develops individualized and group lesson plans for Head Start, Early Head Start children. Samples of format and procedures shall be provided by the county. And ensure that classroom staff makes a minimum of 2 home visits and holds 2 parent conferences with family or primary guardian annually for each child enrolled in the Head Start, Early Head Start program. You also have nutrition services requirements as well for compliance reasons. Dane, did you want to elaborate anything specific in regards to the nutrition services?
Not at this time, no. That will come
Okay.
in more detail at a later point.
Okay. But we do have everything listed there within the solicitation to be mindful of. Health and safety as well is always a primary concern. And you want to ensure that you're in compliance with everything that is listed within this ITB and immediately report all health and safety incidences occurring at the center to designated county staff. There are policies and procedures in place to ensure compliance. Your disability diagnostic services, participate in child study team meetings for children enrolled at the contractor center who have been identified and may require disability services. The child study team may include the child's teacher, senior case manager, speech and language therapist, psychologist, and the parent. The child study team shall meet with the child when the child has been referred to the local education agency to discuss ways to assist the child in meeting developmental, social, emotional, and academic milestones. Just one thing to keep in mind as well, this is part of the program, in addition to family engagement services. So we place a significant emphasis on the involvement of parents and families enrolled in Head Start, Early Head Start program, provide opportunities for parents to improve their anecdotal child observation skills and share observations with contractors, staff to help plan learning experiences. You want to engage in the process of collaborative partnerships, building with parents to establish mutual trust and to identify family goals, strengths, and necessary services and other supports. Provide opportunities for parent involvement in education activities that are ongoing and responsive to the needs of the parents, and include but not limited to parents' participation in center activities and monthly parent meetings. Keep parents engaged, recruit them to volunteer or assist in the classroom whenever possible, and also work closely with the county assigned senior case manager to assure all enrolled families have access to the full range of Head Start, Early Head Start services. So part of your responsibilities will also include the programmatic and fiscal reports and record keeping. I'll allow Dane to elaborate more on this piece of it. Anything specific there that you think would be pertinent and relevant?
So the programmatic reports in this area, we have a quality assurance department. From time to time, you will have quality assurance reviews, and you'll be required to respond to the status of your operation, specifically as it relates to the different audit points that a quality assurance team will check you on. In addition, you're also required to provide an annual audit report if you qualify for it, which means if your total income as a whole is above $750,000, you're required to generate an audit report, and which we should be receiving a copy. The other aspect of reporting is the information you would provide on a monthly basis on your claims, which addresses how many classrooms you operated, how many kids are in the classroom, how many classroom days in the month, but that forms a part of the monthly claim submission, which is already a part of the bid documentation. That's it. So Maggie, earlier you asked if I wanted to say something about the child care food program. I just want to quickly mention
Yes. Mhm.
qualification. Okay, so most of you will know that for Head Start, we're required to provide meals, breakfast, lunch, snacks. These meals we typically do not budget for as a part of our regular operating budget. The funding for these meals are going to come from the U.S. Department of Agriculture Child Care Food Program. That aspect of the meal service is going to be managed on your end because the facility has to qualify for participation in that. So just make sure your facility is able to, or I think it says that you should be registered with the U.S. Department of Agriculture Child Care Food Program at the time. Pay close attention to that because it's a financial as well as operational requirement that we must have in place in order to move forward. All right, thank you, Megan.
Okay, thank you, Dane. I think he touched on all of the reporting, the expectations, communication, and meetings. There will be meetings that will be mandated to attend as part of the Head Start family and being an additional partner. So you want to provide staff to serve as a liaison or representative to assure continuity in reporting and communication, attend all mandatory meetings as requested by the county, including all monthly early childhood education partner meetings. You want to make sure that all incidences and accidents that threaten the health and safety of all Head Start children shall be immediately reported to designated county staff and immediately by phone and in writing. And you'll be provided all that information once you're selected to be an educational partner with us. You'll certainly have everything you need and a point of contact assigned to you. So with your equipment and supply requirements, you'll provide computers with internet services, which ensures efficient and effective access, and age-appropriate software in all Head Start, early Head Start classrooms for student and teacher use. The software shall have a minimum and include Microsoft Office 365. You may substitute these programs with newer versions throughout the contract period. Here are minimum computer system requirements that are listed. To ensure that, again, that you have that for your teachers and staff. You want to provide and maintain and replenish as necessary all furniture, equipment, supplies for each classroom. Minimum requirements for each are indicated in Exhibit 2. No items shall be requested from parents or of children enrolled in the Head Start program. So you won't reach out to parents for any classroom supplies or anything. That will be your responsibility to ensure that everything is there for the children. You'll understand and agree that by law, any property provided by the county shall remain the property of Hillsborough County Head Start, Early Head Start. Contractors shall sign for all property provided by the county and acknowledge receipt of the property. It is the responsibility of the contractor to maintain, replenish these items, and to return the property back to the county at the expiration or termination of the resulting contract. Your method of payment. This is also Dane's area of expertise, so I will defer to Dane for this piece of it.
So okay, method of payment again is the sample files are included as attachments. You will submit your invoice on a monthly basis. The invoice will contain the number of service days during the week. You will be paid on a per week basis for a full classroom. So even if the classroom is typically scheduled in Head Start for 20 kids. The rule is as long as it's no fault of yours, once the classroom is open, you will be paid for the for the full classroom capacity. It's the responsibility of our case managers to ensure that it is filled with students. So we don't hold you accountable in your billing for having less than the capacity. Once it's open and available with all the teachers in place, meaning the teacher-student ratio is being met, you are going to be able to bill for it. And again, it's a per week billing, and the billing format must follow the template sample that you receive. And it also must be very timely. Try not to be late with the billing because that creates problem for our county finance AP department and our grant closeout activities, especially as it gets closer to year end and project end, but try to be very timely with the billing.
Thank you,
Back to
Dane.
you, Becky.
Thank you. And also keep in mind that services at Head Start Early Head Start Department will provide to support the contractor's Head Start Early Head Start childhood education programs. This is something that we are going to be providing support to you as an educational partner, which is going to include mental health services. So these services shall be provided by the division and shall include consultation and training with the teaching staff, to include techniques for working with children who display behavioral difficulties and providing assistance to the parents of enrolled children and accessing necessary community resources. The department will coordinate with the contractor to determine the necessary services. So we're going to work with you on all those mental health services, in addition to child health, dental, and developmental services. So we're going to provide screenings and follow-up services, as well as assistance to Head Start, Early Head Start parents by providing information on health and dental screenings and follow-up services. The same with eligibility, recruitment, selection, enrollment, and attendance. The county's Head Start department shall be responsible for determining eligibility, recruitment, selection, and enrollment for each child enrolled in the contractor's Head Start, Early Head Start program. If a vacancy occurs in contractor's Head Start, Early Head Start classroom, the contractor shall notify the county's Head Start department within 1 business day of when the vacancy occurred. The county's Head Start department shall fill the vacancy on the department's wait list. And this is one thing that's very important so that we can ensure that we are meeting all enrollment goals necessary for federal performance standards. Training, the county's Head Start department will provide training for all contractors' Head Start, Early Head Start education supervisors, curriculum specialists, and program directors, and teaching staff. Contractor staff shall participate in all scheduled Head Start, Early Head Start training, and the county's Head Start department shall specify contractor staff that must attend any specialized training once it's scheduled. So we will, this is a partnership again, so we're going to be sure to be in contact with you, provide you with all the necessary information that you need for those training days and pre-service and in-service training days as well for your staff. The county's Head Start department will provide health and nutrition education training for all staff and families of contractors, Head Start, Early Head Start children. And the county's Head Start department will provide technical assistance to contractors regarding the county-owned curriculum and/or assessment programs. As Dane spoke about earlier with our quality assurance and monitoring, the Head Start department will monitor all successful contractors, Head Start facility services staff, as well as Head Start, Early Head Start files, including the children, to ensure compliance with all areas listed above. Successful contractor performance will be continually measured through ongoing monitoring reports submitted by contractor to the county's Head Start department. Performances will be measured through on-site visits by the county's Head Start department staff to determine if the contractor is delivering high quality and comprehensive Head Start program. The areas to be monitored include but are not limited to education, health and safety, and nutrition. Depending on the circumstances, areas of concern or non-compliance identified during monitoring may be addressed through compliance plans. So compliance plans issued more than twice within 1 month shall be considered a refusal or failure to perform any of the obligations of the resulting contract and shall constitute a material breach. We also have VPK participation. Whenever feasible, the eligible children enrolled under the Head Start program with the contractor will be enrolled in VPK program as children enrolled within Hillsborough County BOCC Head Start program. Funding from this enrollment will be managed and administered by the discretion of Hillsborough County BOCC Head Start Department. There's going to be site visits. Dean spoke about that earlier. For compliance, we'll have the confirmation that the center location meets all the performance standard facility checks, ADA compliance, inside facility check, classroom equipment, supply, provide a safe and nurturing learning environment, meets all the standards, convenient parking, drop off, pickup, parents for children, verify that the location of the intended facilities is relative to the core service needs. And this is where we are specifically looking for educational partners within specific zip code clusters. So this I'm going to defer to Dane to elaborate more on specifically the zip code clusters and what we are specifically looking for.
Okay, so we have basically two clusters. We did this by just looking at the Hillsborough County map, looking at where the different population needs are, and just basically separating the zip code clusters by a line through the county map. What we're trying to do here is to provide services in the areas where we have the high need populations and we do not have enough existing facilities to meet those needs. So at the time of the assessment and the evaluation, we'll be choosing or prioritizing the facilities that are best suited, best located to meet the needs of the population. So just go ahead and submit your solicitation response based solely on the capacity that you have. It doesn't mean that you will, if accepted, we will need all that capacity right there. We will just fill the need based on the wait list and the available population in that area close to your location. Back to you, Maggie.
Okay, and just to elaborate a little more, the cluster 1, early Head Start, we were looking for 20 classrooms, maximum of 8 children per classroom for 160 slots. And the same with cluster for Head Start, 6 classrooms, maximum 20 children per room, 120 children slots. And then this for early Head Start for cluster 2, 11 classrooms, and then for Head Start, 6 classrooms. And those are again broken out into cluster 1 zip codes, cluster 2 zip codes. And preparation for delivery. Delivery, largest, delivery of the goods and or performance of the services and work must be no later than 7 days after contractor's receipt of a purchase order from the county. So that's once you're awarded, you'll receive a purchase order and then delivery of goods within 7 days. The contractor shall be solely responsible for all freight charges, but that's not, it doesn't apply to freight charges necessarily, and offers that proposed delivery timelines. So special terms and conditions. Go ahead.
In this case, delivery of services means be ready to accept children in the classroom. Classroom should have teachers. All the facilities should be as stated in the solicitation document. That's what delivery of goods and services mean. Just be ready, be fully ready to deliver the services, meaning everything that you're supposed to have in place should be in place. Classrooms, staffing area, parking, food service area, everything should be ready. That's what that means.
Thank you. Clarification. The special terms and conditions, basis for the award is listed here. So the award will be made to the lowest responsive and responsible bidder meeting specification. If the solicitation document contains more than one line item, the county reserves the right to award by line item, by group, section, or overall total net bid price, whichever is determined in the county's best interest. So the contract provisions for the contracts funded in whole or in part by federal funds, where the contractor is a non-federal entity, will have access to records, Anti-lobbying amendment is listed there. The Clean Air Act, Federal Water Pollution Control Act is specified. In addition, with compliance with federal law regulations and executive orders, Contract Work Hours and Safety Standards Act, the Copeland Anti-Kickback Act, the Davis-Bacon Act, debarment and suspension, sealed logo and flags, everything is there, and no obligation by federal government, the procurement of recovered materials, program fraud and false or fraudulent statements or related acts, rights to inventions made under a contract or agreement, HIPAA, insurance requirements for the contractor is specified there, what your coverages are required. The Jessica Lunsford Act, optional provision for other agencies, pre-bid conference and site visits. So the today is the pre-bid meeting, and then there will be site visits, and that's the next section here that I am looking for. You have the purchase order, contract period for term contract, estimated quantities, termination for convenience. Our definitions are listed here. All the definitions. Dean, do you know where the
I'm looking for it. The site visit
yes,
details.
okay. Yes, the site visit details.
That's in 1.3.9.7.
I'm sorry, what was that?
1.3.9.7. It's all the way at the top.
Yes.
I'm gonna circle back.
If you're still talking, Maggie, you're on mute.
No, she thinks she's looking
Oh,
for it.
1.3.9.7, you said?
Yes. Correct.
Here it is. Oh, I skipped right over it. Thank you.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay. This is important. Site visits. So prior to a recommendation of award, Head Start department staff will conduct on-site visits for all responsible bidders. The Head Start department staff will be evaluating each location using a center and playground checklist to ensure the facility is able to meet the requirements outlined in this ITB. The site visit shall include, but not limited to, the following: confirmation that center location meets the Head Start, Early Head Start performance standards and Hillsborough County Child Care Facility and staff licensing requirements. That would also be the state of Florida child care licensing requirements. Outside facility checks to include playground space and equipment, ADA compliance for the facility. Landscaping is neat, including proper coverage of mulch in the playground area, and outside of building is clean. Inside facility check to include Head Start, Early Head Start, basic classroom equipment and supply requirements are met. Provide a safe and nurturing learning environment, meets the facility standards as mandated by the office and as listed in the specifications document. Provide adequate and convenient parking, drop-off and pickup for parents and children. Verify that the location of the intended facility is relative to the core service needs. And Dane can also elaborate more on the site visits, just to give them a sense of what you'll be looking for when you conduct those visits.
Just to highlight again that one of our main or core objective is to have facilities of the highest standards. One of our, and a part of our vision statement is to be recognized as the nation's lead, as an organization with the nation's leading facility as it relates to standards and the quality of the facility. So everything we do, we are going to be looking for that. So it means, as I said before, you should aim not just at meeting the quality, not just at meeting the requirements, but exceeding them. Maggie read already what the requirements are. I'm not going to go over it again, but it's there. But just try your best to exceed it. Some very important pointers. Pick up and drop off is very important. So ensure that when we visit the facility, you'll be able to highlight what would be the routine or the process for pick up and drop off. A lot of times we have some very nice facilities, but the convenience is just not there for a proper entry and exit and wait area as it relates to pick up and drop off. So make sure you have a routine mapped out for that to explain how you're going to do that, whether you're going to use cones, you're going to block off certain areas, you're going to establish one-way traffic in a specific area. So those things, as you demonstrate how you will meet those needs on the site visit, are going to be very important. Again, 1.3.9.7.7 speaks to the facility being located within the zip code needs. So your facility, we're going to target facilities that are within the zip code areas with high need. So these things are going to be differentiators. Again, it's an ITB, so the bid is the bid. But when we have a situation where two people are basically in the same price range, we may have to make decisions based on who is best located to serve the need. Basically, those are some key points that I want to highlight as we move along. Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you, Dane. I think this pretty much covers the technical specifications section of the ITB. Dane, did you have anything else to add that they should be aware of that may assist during this process before we turn back over to Dawn? And Dawn's going to review the forms, that the spreadsheets that need to be completed as part of this solicitation.
No, I think you pretty much covered all the key points, and Dawn will allow for questions if there are any questions, or Dawn herself may have questions or clarification. I don't know. All right, so back to you.
Okay, thank you. I'll stop sharing and I'll allow Dawn, if you want to take over from there and review the forms.
Okay, thank you, Maggie. I have prepared or here to show you today, because I want to take a moment just to advise all bidders that there are 2 separate bid tables that are required to be completed and submitted. The first bid table requests bidders to submit a teacher daily rate and a teacher assistant daily rate for training only. And section 1.3.8.5.11 of the solicitation document provides the details regarding the training. You would enter in your unit pricing here for the daily rate for just the training for the teachers, as well as the daily rate for the teacher assistant. The second bid table, which you can see here, requests bidders to submit the weekly rate for 1 early Head Start classroom and the weekly rate for 1 Head Start classroom. And then here, section 1.3.8.5.10 of the solicitation document provides the details regarding the classroom weekly rates. The bid table is also separated out into the 2 clusters that Maggie and Dane were just talking about, the clusters that are defined by zip codes that could be found within the solicitation document. If your area pertains to cluster 1, and you choose to provide a cost for the weekly rate for 1 classroom, bidders can choose from the bid, no bid decision section to bid on that line and enter your unit price for just the weekly rate for 1 classroom, whether it's either early Head Start or Head Start. Here is for cluster 1, and then here below is for cluster 2. Lastly, there is also a questionnaire that we're asking everyone to complete, and it's called the facility information. Bidders are required to also complete this and submit, and this pertains to your facility location. It's also separated out into 2 separate clusters, again, the same clusters that are defined within the solicitation document. And we request bidders to provide the zip code or zip codes if you have multiple locations that fall within that cluster, and the number of early Head Start and Head Start classrooms that you have available. So you can enter your responses in either the response section or the comments section for cluster 1 or for cluster 2. And just as a reminder, it's best for any questions that can be submitted in writing through the unit procurement portal so that a formal response can go out to everyone. The deadline for questions will be 14 calendar days after this pre-bid conference per section 4.7 of the contract terms and conditions document. Maggie or Dane, do you have anything to add for this?
Yes,
Yes.
as it relates to the training day cost, just to highlight that the intent here is to allow the provider, the bidder, to cover the cost of the teacher's salary if a training day falls on a day that is not a typical class day during the calendar year, or if you have to pay for a replacement for the teacher to go to training and for the class to still continue. So just to clarify, the intent is to be able to cover for the classes if the teacher is required to be absent from the class on a day that there is typically class taking place. So hope that clarifies. As Dawn says, if you have any further question on that or require any clarification there, just put it officially on the bonfire portal and we'll answer for everyone to know. And I highlight that because it has been a point of misunderstanding over the years. So just want to be clear there. Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you, Dawn. I have no further questions at this time, and thank you.
Oh, thank you. Okay. We also recommend early submission in case of any potential technical problems. And as Maggie stated earlier, the deadline for submissions is November 21st, 2025 by 2 p.m. So at this time, I will conclude the pre-bid conference for the ITB if no one has any questions.
Hello, thank you for holding this. I was wondering, would you be able to review the forms included in the package, the deviations and bidder requirements?
So this is what you're referring to, correct? The deviations here?
Yes.
So that's if anything is outside of what's requested within the bid document that you are deviating, that you can submit, but this is optional. It's not a required document. As far as the bidder requirements and acknowledgements, that's just information that we ask all bidders that you are required to complete and submit. And it's more about your company answering a various number of questions. Your EIN number, who's submitting, that you're over the age of 18. So there's about 20 questions to answer for that.
Thank you. And I didn't see those questions when I opened up the file. Are they perhaps linked somewhere in the document?
Try to download it and see if I can see for you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I just downloaded it. So here's the first you get are the instructions for all bidders to read through. And then the second page on the bottom, there's a summary. It's just letting you know if you've completed the 20 questions. And then the next sheet is tab 1. And that's where you enter all of your information, your company name, your EIN, the name of the person that's submitting, and then you just go through all of the questions for your company.
Got it. Thank you. I'd missed that third tab.
That's okay.
And the deviations would just be like if we were requesting to deviate from any of the terms?
Correct.
Okay,
So it's not required to submit.
great. Thank you all so much for holding this today.
Thank you for attending.
Certainly.
So, Dane and the others of you, thank you very much for your time. I do have a clarifying question, Dane, and that's from previous experience. Is there a provision inside of this particular bid process that allows for payment for use of other space? So for example, inside of the bid document, you indicated that we get paid for the number of children that are in the classroom. Is that still the same motif?
Yes, everything remains the same, but remember, you have to meet all the requirements. Once you meet all the requirements for classroom space, for playground, for parking, and we identify those spaces before we move forward. Those spaces will have to be identified, and we agree that this is where this is going to take place. Any additional spacing requirement is not going to be a part of this solicitation. It's going to be a totally new negotiation and discussion. So it's not going to be embodied within this. It's going to be new discussion. But again,
So
before we move forward.
So that's not necessarily assumed that it is an in-kind contribution from the site? Is that what you're saying?
No, because once you meet our requirements, when we do the site visit, we will identify and agree on which space will meet the requirement, what we're going to use, what we need. And that seals that there. After that, and we have determined that these are how we're going to meet these requirements using this space, this room. Anything after that, if we should need any difference or any deviation from what we agree upon, then we'll enter into total new negotiations for that.
Okay, so one other question, I'm just trying to be clear. So that means after all requirements are met, I'm assuming that also means after the bid's decision has been made, and if you have been selected because the requirements have been met, then there would be consideration for use of office space and all those other things that might be necessary. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, if we need office space outside of the staff that is there for any reason, and your location can provide that, we'll enter a new negotiation. But be clear, everything that we require, everything that we need has to be met and agreed upon from the first award.
I think I understand that, because it sounds like either the bid will be accepted based on having met those requirements or not. After that's done, then the second conversation happens if there isn't the necessity for additional space. I want to make sure I understand that once the bid is approved, then we can go into the conversation about the use of other space and if there's payment. Is that right?
Correct. Dawn, you want to jump in, or Maggie, you want to jump in on that, just in case I'm missing anything?
I think the minimum requirements need to be met. Is that?
Yes.
Anything outside and apart would be separate and apart from this document.
Correct. That's my interpretation. That's how I see it. Yes.
All right, I have an additional question. Insofar as mental health services for students who come in with those needs, is that outlined in terms of what those services will be, or will that be done on a case-by-case basis as to whether or not Head Start steps in with assistance or not?
Okay, the best way for me to answer that is that I'm going to go back, but I'm going to say, first of all, you're going to be contracted to provide classrooms with teachers that meet specification and qualifications. That's your baseline thing. As the document states, our team will take care of mental health needs. Our team will take care of recruitment. Our case managers will take care of all of that. It means that they will assess the need, and they are not going to do this in isolation. They will do this in conjunction with your teachers, with our education managers who will be a part of the process. So we are going to take care of that. We will determine the need. We will make the assessment. We will make the decision. You only have to focus on doing your part that you're contractually obligated to do. Qualified teachers, ready, clean facilities, opened for this, the calendar days that we require you to have them opened for. Make sense?
It does. I'm asking if the expanse of mental health services that your office provides, is that outlined somewhere? So there's a clear understanding of what obligation the central Head Start office will use, in addition to consulting with the various programs. Is there an outline that these are the maximum or the minimums we will do to provide that those services to each program, since that's a decision that comes from what I call the central office?
So the Head Start performance standard mandates that performance.
Okay.
The specifics of it, I cannot remember now, but there are certain minimum requirements that we have to meet. There are certain evaluations, certain assessment, which has to complete it within certain timeline. There's a requirement that if the evaluations or assessments indicate certain things, we're supposed to provide follow-up and referrals to different organizations. We do have a mental health contract in place where if any such things are identified, or we will use our mental health contract to cover those areas. But quick answer, it's all listed in the Head Start performance standards. And if you read through it and just Control F and look mental health, you'll come up on it. I don't know the numbers right now, but it's all there.
Can you please specify which curriculum and assessment tools will be provided by the county?
Curriculum right now is Frog Street. In terms of the assessment tools, okay, so assessment, we use class, curriculum, Frog Street, other assessment. I can't remember the other assessment tools now, but if you put that
That's
in
a vendor
writing
question.
on the thing, we will provide the information.
That would be best if everybody could put in a submission for a vendor discussion so that all questions can be answered and a public notice can be issued.
Thank you, Dawn.
Happy to put this question in, but also if you all are able to answer, I'm here on behalf of KinderCare and looking at multiple centers that might be eligible. Will you only consider those that are in the zip codes listed for the clusters, or would you potentially consider ones that were, say, in adjacent zip codes?
So the way the clusters are set up, anywhere you are in Hillsborough County, you will fall in one of those clusters. If you fall outside of Hillsborough County, then you're not eligible. So as long as it's within Hillsborough County, just look for the number in the zip code groupings. I believe we captured everything. So
Okay.
once you're in Hillsborough County, you should qualify for one of the clusters, and you can apply or submit your bid for any one of those two clusters. Again, if you're outside of Hillsborough County, meaning the zip code does not fall within Hillsborough County, you're not qualified.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, so I believe no one else is asking any more questions. So I will conclude the pre-bid conference for ITB-25-00275, Head Start Early Head Start Educational Partners. The recording of this meeting will be posted as soon as possible. I want to thank you all for attending and have a great day. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Dawn.
Thank you, Dawn.